You are tuning in to a Goldilocks Productions presentation of the Connecting With show with Betty Jane Ware. Betty Jane is a third-generation seer and highly intuitive reader. She is a practicing witch with over 30 years in the craft. An international psychic, Betty Jane has a number of well-known personalities as her clients. Betty Jane is very much to the point, a natural reader, very intuitive, with whom you immediately feel a connection with. Should you have a reading together, you will be calling back for future appointments. Betty Jane is currently working on her 4th book in the Connecting With book series. Call in now to reserve your spot on the switchboard. The call-in number is 323-870-3791. Press 1 to get into the queue so that you may ask Betty Jane a question. Enjoy this healing and insightful show.
Hello and welcome to Connecting With. I'm Betty Jane. And tonight's show we're going to talk about a number of different things. But first let me tell you what's going on for me in the next little while. And not this weekend coming, but next weekend I am in Toronto at the Toronto Psychic Fair. So if you're interested in coming, please see my website where there's a coupon for you. After that, I am in Ottawa and Oneonta, New York. So keep a watch on my website for information for those shows. Or if you want some information, just pop me a quick email at bettyjaneware@me.com or go to my website at www.bettyjaneware.com. And so since we have a caller, let's take that first, and then we'll move on. So if I could please have caller number 480, Tiffany. Hello.
Hello. This is Michael.
Hi. And how are you tonight, Michael?
Wonderful, wonderful. Beautiful sunny afternoon here in California.
Perfect. Well, it was sort of overcast and gray, but it wasn't snowing, so it's good.
How cold?
Well, we're Celsius, so it was 11 degrees at one point today, so that's pretty good.
Gotcha.
How can I help you today?
Yeah, quick question. Starting a new job, and there was a delay on the opening. And with that, they sent us an email thinking, that their hope is end of week, middle of next week, and I just kind of wanted to get some what you see in and around that, on if that's going to kind of fall within roughly that window, or is there going to be another delay or so?
Is this a restaurant?
Yes.
Okay. I think it's probably going to be closer to the end of that timeline. So if they said late this week, middle of next week, I'm seeing the middle of next week.
Oh, wonderful. Okay.
Okay. So just keep keep ready. I think it's a good thing for you.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I believe so as well, and it'll take care of the day-to-day stuff as I need it to do so.
Absolutely. This is a good move for you. So congratulations on your new job, and let us know how it works out.
I certainly will. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You have a great evening.
You as well.
Thank you. Okay. So this last week has been very tumultuous. There's been a lot going on for me personally. So what I want to talk a little bit about is, as you may or may not know, I do a lot of psychic fairs and what have you. And this weekend I had the pleasure of being in a town close to where I used to live, and a number of people whom I used to work with came to me for readings. And one of the rules I have about doing readings for people is if I sat down for a meal with you, I'm not going to read for you. It's just I know a lot about you, and so much of what I do is based on validation and being able to give you things that I shouldn't really know but do. So if I've had that sort of relationship with you where I've sat down with you and an informal going to read for you, it's just one of my own personal things. Not everybody does that, but it was really interesting that the friends that came to see me felt the same way. So I was really appreciative of that. Everybody has their own sort of set of ethics that they work with, and it's always interesting to see how they put that into place. As always, I find that I have so much fun at the fairs that they always go so quickly, and it was really nice to have my husband with me this time. Today's card, if you take the numerological aspects of every day of the year, you always add the numbers together and you come up with a number. And today was the Hierophant, which is really funny because that's actually my birth card as well. So if you add your 3 plus your 2 plus your 8, so and then your 2 and the 0 and the 1 and the 7, and add all those numbers together, you eventually reduce down to a number 4. And when we look at the Hierophant, we see a man sitting on a throne, and some cards it would be the Pope or the High Priest or the male emperor or the male priestess, the male priest. And it's kind of interesting when you look at the week that I've had, that would be, and then the day that I had today, that card actually came up to be the Hierophant. So it's when I look at the Hierophant, you see the man in the red robe with the crown on the head. He's got the scepter in his hand, and there's 2 people looking at him. There's some keys on the bottom, and it talks about spiritual growth, and it's increased knowledge, education, and skills. It's about teamwork being necessary for job contentment and bending to authority and watching out for ethical conflicts. And that was the one that sort of hit me today. I was supposed to have these scheduled for Friday, and due to a comedy of errors and misinformation on the clinic's part, I am not able to have that surgery. And I was really disappointed in the fact that I had taken time off and going into this place and finding out what had happened, and it was just a whole comedy of errors. And I could have lost my cool. I didn't. I'm really proud of myself for that. But I realized that ethically somebody had obviously given me the wrong information, accidentally on purpose, so that I couldn't do it. And then, of course, coming home and doing the numerological references for the day and pulling the Hierophant, I thought, yeah, there's a message there somewhere. So it's always funny how when in reading you don't necessarily get what you want, but you will get what you need out of a reading. So it was very interesting. So let's take our next caller. It's caller 312.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you.
How are you?
Hi, good. My name's Karen. I'm calling from Chicago.
And how can I help you today, Karen?
Today I lost my job today, and I'm kind of wondering if you see something else for me on the horizon. I was a consultant at a company,
okay.
And I didn't get along with the supervisor, but I called in sick, and they got rid of me.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Is it like business consulting? What kind of consulting is it that you do?
Well, what it was is like I worked for an agency, and they sent me out on an assignment, a computer assignment.
Okay.
To help out.
So this is, actually, I hate to tell you this, but this is a really good time for this to happen for you, because not that it's ever a good time to lose your job, but this is a really good time for new things for you. So this is where new projects, new potential, and just tap into all your resources, and you're going to get the job. Actually, I think you're going to have a little bit of a decision to make, because I'm saying that you'll have a choice to make. So it's not going to be just one. So go into it and be really energetic and enthusiastic, and I know that you're going to get that job that you really want. You can afford to be a little bit picky here.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So start looking.
Start looking. Okay, yeah.
And what was your other question?
Oh, do you see any help? Like sometimes I do side projects just to pay the bills. I have some bills that I have to.
Okay. Oh, we all do. Absolutely. Actually, if you wanted to take that side business and make it a little more full-time and just go with contract work and picking and choosing what you do, that's probably one of the things that we would be really, really good at. And then you wouldn't have to pick jobs you didn't get along with. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Being a little choosy is really important, and I think that and I know that opportunity is coming up for you, especially over the next few weeks. So look forward to it.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you so
have
much.
a great evening.
You
Okay,
too,
go
thank you.
have a glass of wine and a bubble bath and relax and put your feet up and don't worry about today. Tomorrow's a bright new start.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. It's interesting that sometimes, even though endings can be really quite painful, and there can be a lot of reasons why things end, but sometimes the new beginning that comes as a result of that ending is the most powerful thing. So I think I've learned that not everything is as bad as it looks, and that there's always a positive to come out of every situation. I had a lady sit at my table on the weekend, and she got a little concerned that when she pulled the death card in a tarot reading, and almost broke down in tears. And I said to her, she said, "I'm just really afraid of that card." And I said, "Well, why?" And I explained it to her, and but my daughter's going in for surgery, and this is my biggest fear, and it's quite an intensive surgery, and it's quite high risk. So that is a big possibility. Well, I'm not a doctor. I can't guarantee that anything coming around that isn't going to happen. But what I can tell you is all the cards around there don't say that. They don't say that this is going to happen or that is going to happen. So from what I see in the cards, you're stuck with your daughter for a little bit longer. So I'm not a doctor though, but I do see a positive outcome for you. So let's take our next caller at 402, and let's have that caller, please, Tiffany.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good.
And who am I speaking with?
Karen.
Hi, Karen, and how can I help you today?
Interesting how sometimes these themes pop up the same, but I work a full-time job. I just started it in January, and I really do like it. But I'm going to need a little extra money to just, make ends meet and have a little extra. So I'm wondering what that looks like.
Extra money to make some ends meet. What do you do right now?
I'm an assistant controller for a company.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I have a lot of fun with it.
But that's high stress and all that stuff. So that's like, wow.
No,
and the fact that you love it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't find it stressful. It's just, to me, it's kind of playing with paperwork. And
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is a good time to look for something that you can do maybe on the side or on your own. It might be a project that actually moves forward, but also career. This is a really good time for your career. I actually pulled a tarot card for you when you asked the question, and I pulled the Sun, which is high self-esteem and confidence with love and career. So it's optimism, happiness, and things that you weren't sure of actually start to take off and have a really great future. So it's a really good time to start that new project or get a part-time job or do those things. It's going to be very successful for you.
I have one thing that's kind of going, and it's been years in the marketing and just patience to come to some sort of monetary fruition. And I'm wondering if it's, that would be a great boon to my finances.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the time when that tool sort of comes together, and moving forward, it sort of all makes sense now. So it's a time of reward and optimism. So absolutely, this is the best time for you.
Okay.
So have some confidence in it. It's going to be okay.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay. Thank you. You have a good evening.
Thank you.
Bye. So
you too. Bye.
So it's interesting that it's funny because I get asked this question a lot. What are your questions about? And I find that it's very geographical when I'm working. If I'm working in one area, I'll find that all the questions are about, say, career. And sometimes in another area, it's all about health or love life or relationships or other things. And it's so funny because I can go, a couple of weeks later and it'll change. But it seems to be that very geographical. I can remember, having worked in 3 or 4 different places. I was in England for a week, and then I was in the States for a week, and then I was in Canada working, and how much that in England it wasn't necessarily about career, it was about finances and, investments and what have you. But down in the States, it was all about love life and partnerships. And when I was back at home, it was all about health and actually fertility. There was a lot of people wanting to get pregnant at that time. And it was just so funny that it was just so geographical in it. Now, last week I also had the privilege of being on the paranormal show in Niagara Falls, and it's a show I like to do. And one of the things we touched on was reading and ethics. And the question to me was, is there anything that you won't do in a reading? And I won't fake it, that's for sure. If I don't see it, I'll tell you. I also won't read for somebody else, so the person that sits in front of me has to be the one asking the questions. But it seems to me, and I may have touched on this a little bit last week, that in the last few weeks, everybody has been talking about, the calls that I've been getting is about removing hexes and curses and bad luck. And I'm going to reiterate, if somebody tells you in the course of a reading that you've been hexed, cursed, or have black magic on you, and that for X number of thousands of dollars, they'll remove that. Just remove yourself from there. Run fast, because most of that is the idea that you now have in your mind, and you are responsible for your own luck. And sometimes it's bad, and sometimes we have a streak of it. Paying somebody thousands of dollars isn't going to do you any good, but the person that you've paid is going to be really happy because they're going to be several $1,000s richer. It's about believing in yourself. And certainly any reader can give you the tools to move forward and help you believe in yourself again, but so can a good counselor, friend, or psychiatrist. So you don't need to pay tens of thousands of dollars to have that removed. You just need to get some help to get back in touch with yourself. And sometimes things like that are because we don't believe in ourselves anymore. Something's happened that's knocked our confidence out. So moving forward, it's something that we really need to think about. So I'm going to do a little spread because, like I said, my week has been totally upside down. We won't talk about Wednesday. Last Wednesday was one of those days. Let me tell you, Wednesday morning I got up and I had to teach a class, and my car was empty. Now, I drive a diesel car. Do you know not every gas station has diesel? And then I realized my tire was low, so I had to put air in my tire. Well, apparently my tires don't take air. They take nitrogen. So I went to my class, and you know what? The place that I was supposed to do my class, which I had gone to see 2 days before on the Monday, they'd moved out Monday night in the middle of the night. So my class was canceled. And then I got some bad news from a friend on Wednesday evening, and it was just that sort of day. And that was sort of the tune for my week. Well, I'm just going to pull 3 cards and say, is my week going to be any better? Well, the first card I pulled is the Knight of Pentacles, and I pulled the Knight of Wands, and I pulled the Wheel. So the Knight of Pentacles. Well, it's a woman, and she's got 9 pentacles around her. She's holding a bird, and there's it's got to be a falcon of some point because she does have a glove on, and there's lots of grapes and a castle in the background and a snail moving forward. So this card tells me that my money and my possessions are safe as long as I'm careful. So I have to watch out for my own financial interests, and I have to rely on my own instincts and research. And apparently I'm coming into money. Woohoo! An inheritance or lottery winnings. Investments will pay off. Well, I don't want an inheritance, so I guess maybe I best buy a lottery ticket. Investments, well, maybe I better make an investment then. The Knight of Wands, well, he's a lovely fiery creature on a horse moving forward. He is confident, and he's sexy, and he's attractive, and he's full of energy, and he's always in a rush. A lot of nervous, excellent energy. He's really good at starting projects, not so good at finishing them. Always looking for change, impatient, and enthusiastic, emotional, and understands others' motivation. Well, that could be me. Could be my husband, but he's not under 40, and that's usually a night, usually younger. But, could be what's going on. So let's see. And then I pulled the world. The world's pretty cool. It's about entering a period of great happiness and positive events. Pieces are starting to fall into place. Yeah, I can see that. So I guess this means that this was going to be a good week for me. Goals are achieved, unexpected money. Oh, maybe I really better buy that lottery ticket. Yeah, possible change of residence or job. Well, I don't see that, but, never say never. Maybe just a change of place in my job because I do travel a lot, and that could be it. Sense of fulfillment, inner peace. Whatever I give will be returned to me many times over. Well, I believe that happens anyways. If what you get out of something, what you put into it, and the rewards are based on what you put into things. So I think that's pretty good thing with any sort of motivation in life. So don't forget, my website is www.bettyjaneware.com, and my Facebook page is Betty Jane Ware, and I also have, you can email me at bettyjaneware@me.com, and my phone number is 416-894-2602, and I answer any and all emails and Facebook messages, so please go ahead and get a hold of me. You can always book a reading, or you can come to see me at a show, and I do travel to house parties and private readings quite a bit. I do spend quite a bit of time on the road. As I said, at the end of the month, I'm in Oneonta, New York, at the Shift Fair, which is always a good event for me. In May, in Toronto, I am running a How to Connect with Your Spirit Guides workshop, and sometime tomorrow you will see that workshop on my website as a digital workshop, and that's something that I am working on, as well as Psychic Cafe should be up there now, and you can join in some of those events. I always love to meet the people that I speak with on the radio, and it's always good moving forward. I know that next week we have Dennis Anderson on air with us, and he is an aura photographer. I know he spoke a couple of weeks ago with my husband when they were on together, and Dennis is going to be talking about energy centers and chakras and doing some on-air readings. He's quite gifted, and it's funny because I have a lot of people who are a photographer, and I always recommend Dennis. He's very, very good. Interesting story is I actually have a women's group that's asked me a few times, and I say, well, I have this man, but it is a man, and I don't think he'd look good in a skirt. So he is an awesome aura photographer and does a lot of really good work. So he's going to be my guest next week. And then towards the end of the month, I have Diana Friedel as my guest, and she will be talking about the Shift Fair in Oneonta, New York, and the new metaphysical church and community that they've set up there. And it is pretty awesome. I've been to the website and I've seen what they're doing, and it's just amazing. They've done a lot of fundraising and events for it, and what they've done has been pretty. Just watching this year and I'm watching their growth, it's been phenomenal, and I'm really impressed with all the work they've done, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it myself at the end of April. And also at the beginning of May, I will be in Salem, Massachusetts, teaching Witchcraft Boot Camp. So book your slot in there now, quickly, before time runs out. I'm really looking forward to teaching this class with my good friend and fellow witch, Terry. Terry was sort of like a mentor to me when I had my shop here in Kingston, and between the two of us, we have more than 70 years of experience in the craft, and that's really scary to say, but we've been doing it for a long time. And Terry's the type of woman that there may be an official witch in Salem, but Terry, in my mind, is the most genuine witch in Salem. She'll take time out to teach anybody, and answer any questions. I can remember watching her teach somebody how to cast circle in the middle of a crowded shop one Samhain, and if you've ever been to Salem, Massachusetts, it's Halloween, you know it's sort of like Mardi Gras and Super Bowl parade in a really tiny town all at once. And a lot of fun, but really crowded. So watching her do that in that tiny store and seeing her walk somebody through it, just to me, that's just what the craft is supposed to be out, that sharing of knowledge, that meeting people and taking time out of a busy day to help somebody and guide somebody and give them the guidance and the knowledge that they need and not have any worries at all about it. So let's talk tarot. If I run out of something, I always go back to my tarot cards, my Rider-Waite deck. It's my favorite, and it's funny, I use them constantly. Oh, that and my crystal ball. Oh, and sometimes my pendulum. Oh, and I guess I like all the methods of divination that I use. There's not really a favorite, but my tarot is kind of my fallback. I love the imagery in it. I love the colors. And I'm a traditionalist, so I love my Rider-Waite deck. It's not that I don't have other decks, and I do use other decks, but the Rider-Waite is the one that I fall back on. It's got to be up there with my faves. And it's not actually my first tarot deck. I think the first tarot deck I ever bought for myself was the Llewellyn deck, and I still use it, but not as much as I use my Rider-Waite. And as I said, you can find things on my website that might be beneficial to you. Recently, we've added spell oils, and we are working on right now the spell kits. There's some up there, more will be added. We also have on there things like classes and workshops, my own books, the Connecting With series, and I'm still working on that fourth book. It's just sort of not coming out or flowing as much as I need it to. It seems to be a bit of a, I don't know, it's just not, maybe I just need to change the focus. Maybe I need to pull a card and see what's stopping me from moving forward with that book. So let's pull a card and see what happens. What card am I pulling? Oh, I got the Two of Wands. Oops. Well, it indicates growth of personal power and courage. I command the attention and respect of others. Well, I guess somehow that could be true. A new adventure. Maybe this is telling me that I need to put that book aside to a new project. That's what this card means. Maybe the project that I'm working on isn't currently the one, and I need to look at something else. That might be. It's interesting when you do card readings. Coming from a military town, there are certain nicknames I'd given some of my cards. And one of them was my Nine of Wands. And if you've ever seen the Nine of Wands card in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, it's a man that's got, or a youth that's holding 9 wands or staffs, and he's got a bandage on his head, and he looks sort of defeated. And I always look at this card as the Wounded Warrior card, and I said that once in a reading, and it's about conflict, emotion, being prepared for an assault, things like that, being physically tired from conflict and setbacks. But I called this card the Wounded Warrior. Probably not the best thing you could call a card when you work and live in a military town. It really was not my best moment. I apologized right away. I mean that her significant other, partner, son, whoever was coming back, it just meant that being tired for conflict and that she was the warrior, and it was her own emotional, what have you, type of move, and she did, and she could identify with that, so that was kind of interesting. So let's take another caller here at caller number 863, please, Tiffany.
Hello.
Hi,
Hi.
who am I speaking with?
This is Julia from Florida.
Hi, Julia. Oh, Florida.
Hello.
How's the weather?
Oh, it's been really nice. Spring has sprung.
Oh,
it's just beautiful.
Okay.
Sorry, okay, I'll stop already.
That's okay. How can I help today?
You know, I was looking to ask about new love. I've been divorced, and it's, been a little while, and I've worked on myself and done a lot of the forgiveness and healing around that to try to, clear my baggage.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'd really like to connect with a really meaningful relationship, a love relationship.
Okay. Right now, I'm seeing that you will have a relationship. I'm not saying, but I really believe that it's not going to be your happily ever after this next relationship, but it is going to give you a lot of confidence to move forward. So it's sort of like a trial relationship before you meet the one that you are supposed to be with. And I do believe that is coming for you after this next one. So it's not about learning what you need. Actually, it is. It's about learning, again, what doesn't work. And I think you'll recognize that this is just a transitional right now relationship. It's not forever. The next relationship that you have is going to be with somebody who's a wee bit younger, but honest, direct, creative, artistic, a little bit emotional, but very passionate about life. So, but very good. And this is going to be a long-term relationship. But the next one, the first one that you have, not so much.
I love that. Not so much.
Not so much. Well, it's not that he's not a lot of fun, but he's just not forever.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's okay.
Yeah.
The second one, absolutely, way better suited for you.
Yay.
Yay.
I'm just glad to know that, the one is out there for me still. So, and that he is actually coming, that, I will have that again, that, that deep love and passion. And so, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yay. Thank you.
You're
I always have a smile when I talk to you. So thank you. Gives me lots to look forward to.
Great. Have fun. Thank
you so much, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
I will. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, that's so funny. Julie, life is a diet. Sample the menu. All the appetizers. Actually, just go right to the desserts. That's what I would do. But, no, it's not. You know what? Sometimes we all want, not everybody wants long-term life love. Some of us just want to be with somebody, and some of us like the variety. I have several people in my life who are very happily single, and, they're older people. They don't really want the muss and fuss of a partner. And I have a lot of people who can't see life without one, be it this one or or whatever else comes along. They just can't be alone. So there is no judgment there. Just don't overthink it and get through this next stage and move forward with it. It's all good. Life is meant to be lived. And if you want to have a partner, I can tell you that you're going to have all the partners you want, because if we want one, we can find one. That's the honest to goodness truth. But they're not going to come knocking on your door. You're going to have to get out there and see it and experience life. So let's take the next caller, please, at 732.
Hi, good evening, Betty Jane. This is Caroline. I'm calling from New Jersey.
Hi, how can I help you today?
Hopefully you're doing well as well. My question is in regards to I'm waiting for a publishing contract for one of my clients, and I'd like to know if it's a male and the book is for young adults, and I'd like to know if I submitted already to the best matching publisher, or if I still have, haven't sent to the right one yet. Thus, I haven't gotten a contract.
Okay, I think it's the second. I think that you should send it to somebody else. I think that there's a better opportunity for both of you there. So,
and is this
absolutely.
like out of New York, or like a major publisher, or smaller boutique one?
I'm thinking boutique. I understand the reason for wanting to go with the big major ones, but I think boutique, actually I know boutique ends up being better financially for you.
Great, because they also market, if they like the book. Now, the book is pretty exciting. It's just like as exciting as Harry Potter, that kind of, young adult. So now I'll have to find somebody that will I just wanted to concentrate because it's almost going to be a year, and I don't want the contract to be up. Not that he wouldn't roll it over, but I just wanted to, get it moving again, So can I ask you another question regarding
Absolutely.
to another? Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Well, I just got a call from England. I have a lot of people that I know in England. And I always wanted to, they're like you, psychic mediums, doing spiritual work. And this gentleman, he's wonderful. He's brand new. He just came into my life maybe within the last month. And he just asked me, which I love to set up live events. I've done that before, in my previous career. So now I'm in a new career, So that's one thing that I want to do, expanding the business, not only literary, but then to promote the author and get them going, like on live events. But for now, this is like an actual psychic medium. And he wants me, and I'm so happy, he wants me to set up events here in the States for him.
Okay.
And this was just asked within the last 15 minutes. I'm thrilled about it because I always want, that's part of what I want to do. Do you see me doing it here in the U.S. first, like live events, or in England? Because I also want to go there.
Oh, England's amazing, so of course you want to go there. It's a good time. Good connections are made through business, and this relationship is going to have a dramatic effect on your life. So I don't think it really matters where you do it. It just matters that you do it.
Thank you. Yeah, because I live in New Jersey, and there's like little pockets like Princeton, Central Jersey has pockets of like spiritual centers. And I was surprised that in Princeton, which is a very conservative town, it's a college town, that they have. I looked into it. So that's where I want to move to. So do you see me moving first before I do live events? Because that town is gorgeous.
I'm not necessarily seeing the move first. I'm seeing that you might start right in the middle or right after it, but not first.
Okay.
I think that you've got a lot of irons in the fire with the book and with this new business, and I think that you can't.
It's not
going to do everything, honey.
No, it's not going to be easy. No, and the move is like,
exactly.
Oh my
so
God.
I think that maybe the move has to wait until you start something. That
beautiful.
Because I think this promotion is it's going to be quite lucrative for you.
Of the live event. Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh. Because the first one I did. Tried to do because I had to get rid of these people. It was just the wrong people, wrong timing. It was in L.A. And I felt so bad. I was so heartbroken that I had to, I guess, I found out somebody wasn't actually honest, So I had to fire them. So I had to pull the plug, lost a little money, no big deal, not major money, just little. But I was so heartbroken that I couldn't pick up the pieces for another 8-9 months.
That happened.
Now, yes, so I'm so happy. You made my evening. I'm going to have great dreams.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Where do you live? What state
Toronto.
are you in?
I'm in Toronto. I'm in Canada.
Oh, too bad. Well, guess what? I have clients in Canada. I will be doing something in Canada, and I'll give you a call.
Go.
I know you're always here.
Absolutely.
So
I'm always there. Thank
you.
You have a good evening.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Now, that's one of those things that's very interesting because having been in business and my husband having been in business, listening to that last caller and her story, I have to say one word of advice to anybody in business. We all love our businesses. We're there because we love it. It's our blood, our sweat, and our tears that we pour into it. Nobody ever loves or appreciates your business like you do. It's a hard lesson to learn, but it's the absolute truth. It doesn't matter how good they seem, anything like that, because they may start loving, but we have different priorities as business owners and different priorities as employees, and so remember that. It's never the same, because at the end of the day, we have so much to lose in a business or to win in a business, and our employees don't really. So they have less to lose than we do. And I'm not saying that I haven't had some phenomenal employees, because like everybody, of course I have, and business working partners, but nobody loves your business like you do. So let's pull another card first. Let's see what tomorrow is going to be like for me. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Let's see. What do I have first thing? I have a client meeting at 10 o'clock. I have something going on at 3:30. And a client at 7 o'clock tomorrow. So it's a pretty, I've hit my goals for tomorrow. So that's good. So what else is going to happen in that free time in the middle? I pulled the Fool. Oh, okay. I'm free of responsibility, and I don't like restrictions, but I am self-employed. So it's about new beginnings, new phases, trusting in myself and my plans and my ideas, no matter what obstacles others might put in my way. Interesting, because I am working on a project, and on my calendar it actually says that I'm supposed to spend time working on that tomorrow. So that's something so I'm looking at this card saying, yeah, it is about taking a leap of faith. And then if we look at the other card that I pulled about what was stopping me from moving ahead on my book, it was about maybe doing something different. So maybe that other project that I'm working on has to take priority right now. It's food for thought, isn't it? We all have different priorities in life, and maybe that deck of my own that I'm worried on is what needs to be first right now. So much is going on. It is spring. It is all about new beginnings and planting the seeds for new opportunities and moving forward that way. And so it's always about good things. And I know it's April coming up next month, and that's just next week. And we've got so many kids at college and university and exams, and they're really getting stressed out. And I just want to take a minute and say, don't get stressed. Relax. Breathe through it. If you're feeling overwhelmed, find somebody to talk to. Go see a counselor, a friend. Just get someone to talk to. Get some help. Don't get yourself overwhelmed. It's just a test. It's just a piece of paper. There are worse things that can happen if you're not doing well. There's so many other places. Go get the help you need. Don't get overwhelmed. It's not worth it. So please, don't get overwhelmed. Move forward. Life is perpetually moving forward. There's so much going on right now. And for those of you who were with me when I was doing my Mondays at 2 o'clock time, tonight was about raising a glass to my grandmother. Today was her birthday, and so as much as I missed not making that phone call and going to see her first thing in the morning, I did raise a glass to her tonight, so it was kind of cool. Don't miss her every day, so, but I know that she's watching out, and I know how proud she is of me, so that's really all that really matters. And let's see, what else is going on? So remember, you can always connect with me on BettyJaneWare.com, through Facebook at Betty Jane Ware. I'm also on Instagram and Twitter and all those good things. It's just a matter of finding me, and I think there's links on my website to it. If not, maybe Miss Tiffany can help me, because I am not the technology girl. I'm the psychic girl. And the other thing that we have going on is you can connect with me through email at bettyjaneware@me.com, or you can 416-894-2602 is my phone number. You can phone or text to that, and I will be sure to get back to you. You can book an appointment directly on my website, which Miss Tiffany set up for me, as she does. And you can sign up for some of my classes I have coming up. I have Meet Your Spirit Guide in Toronto on the second weekend in May, so that's Mother's Day weekend. I will be running that a class again in June, and that's a 2-day workshop. And then I have, at the end of May, I'm running the Witchcraft Boot Camp here in Toronto for those who are interested. And, of course, the first week in May, it's in Salem, Massachusetts. And if you're going to learn the craft of being a witch, why not learn in Salem, Massachusetts, where you can go, you can have fun, you can eat cheap lobster, and you can party with the witches in Salem. Like, why not? There we take it very seriously, and we'll be teaching everything from the history of the craft right up until we'll be talking about the Wheel of the Year. We'll be talking about the tools, setting up an altar, performing ritual, calling quarters, the elements, working with deity, all of those things. So it's going to be a quite involved class. We will be working on spell crafting, casting spells, releasing. And in my own personal opinion, spell work is all about the rhyme, the rhythm. I always say a spell is like a prayer. We set our intent, we release it to the elements. We're asking for a favor, be it good luck, good health, wealth, love, whatever. We are asking for something. And pretty much like a prayer. The only thing is, the witch, we're kind of like magpies. So we sort of like the glittery stuff. We like the candles, the oils, the stones, a little bit more pizzazz into it. Not that we really need it, but, why not give it some oomph? It's something. It's funny. I can remember one day I performed this spell. I was I just was looking for some money because I wanted to go on vacation. So I performed a bit of a money spell, and I wasn't very specific in my intent, I guess, because the next day I got an email saying I'd won the Nigerian lottery. So I'm not sure that was quite the result. However, I also got a $36 income tax refund too. So when you do a spell, it's about being a little more specific. So, but we'll also talk about the proper circle etiquette, opening, closing, setting, releasing, however you phrase it, and we talk a lot of things like that. Now, when I'm working my introduction to spirit guide class and working with your guides, we meditate, we get in line, we connect with our chakras, we do things like we go to our special sacred place, be it a meadow, a hill, a church, whatever, and we go there and we just send out questions to the universe and we ask about our guides, and they come in and we get the names and we get the information we need, and we'll work with automatic writing, and we'll work a little bit with crystal ball, and we'll get comfortable with utilizing our guides, and we'll get to the point by the end of the weekend that you will be able to call on your guides in a car to help you find a parking spot. So it's one of those things. I always liken my spirit guides to, and this might be showing my age a little bit here, but we all watched the Flintstones when they were little, and Fred there, he always had that little kazoo on his shoulder, and there might have been good kazoo and bad kazoo. And I always say that sometimes my spirit guides, they've got my best interests at heart, and sometimes they're a little cheeky, and they like to have a bit of fun with me. It's like I know I'll call upon my guides to find me a nice, beautiful parking spot, and I might call upon Ganesh, say I need a good parking spot today, and Loki invariably shows up, and the good parking spot's 10 miles away. So it's all about pranks and tricks sometimes too. And that's also another maybe topic for conversation another night, about whether or not the gods are fallible. Do they make mistakes, or do they like to play pranks? That might be something else to talk about, a whole other conversation, maybe with another pagan. I'll get that all a couple of weeks away. Now, and don't forget that next week my guest is Dennis Anderson, and he is Mr. Aura Photographer Extraordinaire, and we'll be talking about auras and chakras, and he's also a very gifted medium, having gone to Stanstead College in London, at Sir Arthur Findlay in London, and it's in Stansted, and it's a beautiful college, and I've heard lots of good things about it, and that was one of my choices. I chose the College of Psychic Studies in London instead. So, and I'll be back there at the end of June taking part 2 of my class, and I'm really looking forward to it. Working with one of my favorites is always a lot of fun. And don't forget, I'm at the Toronto Psychic Fair the weekend, not this weekend coming, but next weekend, and that should be a lot of fun. It's the biggest psychic fair in Toronto, probably in Ontario, and not only will you see psychics and mediums, you will also find your you will find some healers doing energy healing. You will find a big array of crystals and cards and any metaphysical product that you could possibly want. And my good friend Monica, who came on last summer, and I'm hoping to get on again in the next little while, she will be dropping some of her new deck, the Lucky Lenormand, and we will be selling them for her at the fair. And don't forget, you can always pre-book a reading with me if you are in the Toronto area for that fair. I'm happy to do so. And any fair that I do, if you book an hour-long reading with me, I always discount that price by your admission, so you do get that little bit of admission off. That helps out a little bit because I know fairs and things are expensive right now, and I like to try and help out when I can. This last few weeks has been incredibly trying for a lot of people in my life, and I just want to let them know that I'm sending a lot of love and healing to them. Just so many things for so many people right now. It really has been a few weeks of transition, and I really hope that they feel better and things get better in their life soon. I also want to just say that mental health is so very important. So if you see the signs or you think somebody is suffering, please reach out to them and just give them a hug, try and get them the help they need. You may not be qualified, but maybe find somebody that is for them. It's very important for everybody. Now, don't forget to get in touch with me at my website at www.bettyjaneware.com or my Facebook page, Betty Jane Ware. I am bettyjaneware@me.com or 416-894-2602. I am in Toronto on the first weekend of April, and then I'm off to Ottawa for the Ottawa Psychic Fair, down to Oneonta, New York for the Oneonta Psychic Fair, and then I am on to Salem, Massachusetts, and hopefully down to see Tiffany at Crystal Visions in Ohio somewhere. She'll tell me where. And then I'm teaching for a weekend in Toronto at Meet Your Spirit Guide class. And then I am doing the Kitchener-Waterloo Psychic Fair, which I am very looking for, and I'm in Connecticut, not Ohio, sorry. And then from there, I am taking some time off. So Crystal Visions is in Connecticut, as Tiffany is putting here, big CT. So I'm assuming that's Connecticut and not Central Time or something like that, Cincinnati. She's laughing at me. What can I say? My geography of the states isn't that good, but I know they're all so close on that eastern seaboard that it's very interesting. So anyways, we're a few minutes from the end, so I'm just going to say my contact information again. It's 416-894-2602. I am on Instagram at Betty Jane Ware. You might see that there's a theme here with my name because I'm getting older and I don't want to make sure, I have to keep saying it so I don't forget it. My website is Betty Jane Ware. To get to the class that I'm teaching in Salem, please go to Avalon College of Metaphysical Studies, and the information is there. And I am Betty Jane Ware at me.com, 416-894-2602. And I just want you all to grab your kids tonight and hug them a little closely. And I want to thank you all for listening and putting up with me tonight. I know I rambled a lot, and I have a special friend out there that I'm going to say to her, as of last Monday night, the stars shone a little more brightly when they welcomed a brother home. And my heart goes out to you, and I wish there was more I could do for you. So I'm thinking of you always. And just thank everyone for tonight, and have a great evening. And I will talk to you all next week with my special guest, Dennis Anderson. Bye. Thank you.